Hello, this is Tobi of WOWConnect. You're welcome to another episode. Thank you for taking out time to drop your comments. We really appreciate it. This episode is discussing venue. And with me today is a very good friend.
Hello, Tobi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for having me here. My name is Kemi, Adeleke. I manage KFA Events Place. It's on the Lekki Expressway. It's a marquee venue where people come in to have various type of events, your weddings, your birthdays, burials. The KFA Event Place was opened about 10 years ago. It has a sitting capacity of 1,200 people, banquet setting. And if you want to do theater setting, I think it takes about 1,800 people. I think that's about it.
I'm happy you mentioned the seating capacity. You have times when clients have booked venues before they come to you and they say, oh, that venue can sit 2,000 people. And because I've worked there, I know it can sit 1,000 people conveniently. But the venue owners, managers have told them it can sit a certain number of people. And because they've already paid, it's too late and we have to find a way of working around it. So when you give people the capacity, so you said 1,000 banquets.
Banquet setting 1,200.
1,200. So do you say, okay, if you have a big band, if you have two bands, it might be 1,000. Do you give like caveat so that they understand that the 1,200 is not all-inclusive? You actually have to make room for some. I'm an event planner, so I know that. But if the client comes to you directly, do you actually educate them on how to work the space so that they actually plan adequately? How does it work?
That's a very good question. The size of the marquee is a 25 meters by 60 meters, which is 1,500 square meters. Adequately, a square meter is per person. So literally, it should seat 1,500 people. And that's why I set up for 1,200 people. So you can have room for your walkway, for the bridal area, if it's a wedding, for the band, for the DJ. And then I now have serveries, which are adjoining the hall. So you don't have to serve food inside the hall. So you have enough space to accommodate your 1,200 people.
The next thing I would like to ask is, okay, so I'm a client. I've not even engaged my event planner yet. I'm looking for a venue. What are the 3 critical things I need to look out for while deciding to choose a particular venue?
Okay, before you actually choose a venue, if it's a Christian that is getting married, of course you need to get a date from the church. It's very important. That date is so critical to ensure that the date you've picked, nobody else has picked it, and the time. And then proximity from the church to the venue is very critical because we all know Lagos. If it's in Lagos, the traffic. I've had clients having to engage the use of last mile to ensure that there's a smooth flow from the church to the venue. You have to be sure that your venue can take the number of guests that you're expecting. I wish clients can be strict about your invitation. But you find out that, oh, I don't want to annoy this family, I don't want to annoy this auntie, this uncle. And then on the day of the event, you find out that the hall is full. You have much more than, let's take KFA as an example. We've set up for 1,200 people. I've had events, not one, not two, where we've had 2,000 people. It's not even safe. What if there was a fire outbreak? What if there was, an incident? What would have happened? I had an event, I think a month ago, when they sent the report to me on the number of vendors that the client had used for the event. It was a wedding, and they told me they had over 40-something vendors. 40-something vendors is a lot because each vendor, let's assume, would have like 5 staff. 5 times 40, that's already 200 people. Believe you me, they will eat, they will drink. And we know all the high cost of things in the country right now. It's a lot. So it's always very good to streamline the number of vendors that you use for your events. It's actually very important.
What we tell clients is, even if people, because what happens in our culture is people are giving you some of these things as gifts. That's what yes, so that's what happens. So what we do is we try to align the caterers. Okay, you want to give a gift because people don't want to hand over the money. We can say, okay, we're using these different caterers. Could you sample them? Could you use one of them as your gift? We try to do that to direct, but if the family member or the friend doesn't communicate to the client honestly will never know. We've actually had situations like that where we have our floor plan, we have where everybody's situated, and people just appear with, we're from this family, and we're like, oh my God, we have to make it work somehow. So I guess we've never had the 46 vendors, to be honest. But sometimes it happens and you have to make it work somehow. Be strict about the access tags they have, even the feeding. You have to ensure that the caterer feeds their people, those kind of things. So we have to make it work somehow. I guess because of the kind of terrain that we're in. That's quite interesting. But what do you say about cooling when the we're in tropical region and you have a lot of situations where you already booked the venue, everything was okay, but at the event you have power issues. The venue says, oh no, because your equipment is heavy. But in your contract, you didn't say we should bring external power. Or you say, no, the ACs were cooling yesterday or the last event, something happened. How do we manage these kind of things? Because you're an event owner, looking at it from our own angle, how do we manage it?
That's a very interesting question. As a venue owner, I always tell people, have backup generators. People invite me to the events, but I don't go inside the hall. I'm always praying that the generator, even if it stops, the changeover will be immediate. And what we've done at the venue is we've had to split the hall into two. So there's power on one generator, there's power on the other generator. So in case one goes off, at least there's something functioning. So that's what we do. And then we have the backup generators.
If I'm paying for a venue, the backup generator I'm getting is for what exactly? Is it my sound people? Is it my ACs?
I provide power for my venue. I can't speak for another venue. For my venue, I provide power for everybody. Except there's some particular bands that have a lot of equipment. They bring their own generator because they know that probably the venue will not be able to accommodate their load. And then some lighting companies as well, they do bring their generator if need be. But I have generators, so I think we're fine so far in terms of power.
Thank you very much for joining us. 3 take-homes for you from Mr. Adeleke will be: 1, I just ask for the area of the venue. Ask for the seating capacity, yes, but when you have the area, then you can make your own deductions and say, okay, it's a 1,000 square meter venue, you can't take more than 1,000 people. And that's if you haven't engaged your planner already. If you have, go ensure you're having these discussions with the venue, with your planner, because contracts have to be signed, details have to be, sorted out. It's very important, but if you don't, ensure that you are very critical about the space considerations. Ask about the generators, ask about power, ask about the cooling systems. Very important. You don't want to have bought all the champagne and there's food and there's a lovely DJ and your guests are hot. It's the worst thing ever. So thank you for listening. Kindly subscribe to our channel, drop your comments, give us feedback, engage us. Let's continue this conversation on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you for watching and remember to be awesome!